Hello everyone. Just Saturday morning, and I'm gonna do another quick review of a book that I've read. I'm doing it. I've spared no expense, and I'm doing it from my car. So I hope you appreciate that. So the book I'm going to review is The Power of Now by Ekhart Tolle. The Power of Now by Ekhart Tolle. I've got to say. So I'm going to read the blurb on the back. The power of now can transform your thinking. The result, more joy right now. And that's by Oprah Winfrey. Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now is the best-selling spiritual book of the last 20 years. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe the Bible or the Quran might be. And it continues to be embraced by millions of readers around the world. To make the journey into the now, we will need to leave our analytical mind and its false created self, the ego, behind. Although the journey is challenging, Eckhart Tolle offers simple language and a question and answer format to show us how to silence our thoughts and create a liberated life. Okay, so first of all, I'll say I like this. I enjoyed it. It's not a very big book. I heard about this for ages, and I bought it. It was lying on my bookshelf for ages, and finally I thought I'm going to give it a go. It is written in a nice, easy, readable style, and what I really liked about this is the fact that you've got this question and answer format. So somebody asks a question, for example, what about emotions? I get caught up in my emotions more than I do in my mind. And then that's like a question, and then he'll actually spend 2 or 3 paragraphs answering that, and it's actually quite quite good. A lot of what this is the 20th anniversary edition, so it's obviously been going for a while, and it's one of those books that people get a lot out of. Does it change your life? I think one of the things it does do is, if it can get you present to where you are right now, that's pretty good. Because let's face it, most of us might as well be smoking marijuana, because we're either stuck in the future about what might happen or what isn't happening, or we're stuck in the past about, oh, so-and-so did that and so-and-so did that. That shouldn't have happened. So if you can get into the now, it does get you into something that I think is kind of quite powerful. And yeah, I guess, when you're not in the future, not in the past, and you're in something that is different. It is more in touch with reality. So that's all great. It does make me think about lots of other concepts. This idea of the flow, where when you do sports, you get into the flow or the zone. So maybe that's the same sort of thing. So maybe being in the zone or being in flow is just that, just being in right now, being present. The great thing about this is, they say, when you see that you're not in the now or not in the present, that's when you kind of get into the zone. Like, by realizing that you're being inauthentic, you become authentic. I wrote a few notes and I suppose a few of the things that they say, there's about 3 points, I think, that 3 main concepts I think I got out of this. 1, you're not your mind. 2, the present moment is all you ever have. You're only ever in this present moment. And 3, there's the acceptance of what is and surrender to it. And I like that concept of the acceptance of what is and surrender to it. And I guess that is acceptance. And this is where we are. This is what we have right now. And if you surrender to that, you are probably going to feel a certain amount of peace. So what he talks about is the mind as a tool, and that you are not your constant stream of thoughts, which is great. And all spiritual traditions will eventually get you to that point where you realize that you have a mind, but that you are not your mind. And the mind apparently wants to live in the past and in the future. So it kind of wants to get you out of the present right now. When you observe that you're not the present, that you're not in the present, then you are in the present. To surrender to the present moment is to acknowledge the resistance within you and give that up. Okay, so yeah, most of us don't want to live right now, right here. Most of us, I guess, want to be out somewhere else. And so I think the idea is that he's saying it's not being passive. you then have choices. If you're in the present moment, you accept it, then you can either remove yourself from the situation, change the situation, or accept it completely. And I was thinking to myself, if you were like in, you know, a slave or something in, you know, 18th century America, and you were in a cotton field or something, what the heck would you know, how are you gonna, how is the presence of now gonna change things? But maybe it would stop you thinking this shouldn't be happening. And that's a big thing I notice in spiritual circles, this idea of this shouldn't be happening, or something shouldn't be happening, is a way of getting you out of the now, out of the present. So it takes it from what is actually happening to the story or the idea of what's happening. Okay, so it is quite a deep book. I think you probably have to, you would want to reread this every so often. And I think it's kind of a practical book in the sense that you can't help but start thinking about things in your daily life. Like you might be arguing with somebody, and then when you come to the now, you think, why am I arguing with this person? You know, especially if somebody that you like, or you love, or, you know, or even someone you don't like, you go, why do I need to argue with this person? If you're in the now, you kind of realize that you are creating the argument, I suppose. So that's kind of, I found that quite interesting. Yeah, and they were saying this, they were talking about the power of now. Well, I suppose if there was a tiger in front of me now, I would suddenly jump into action. Doesn't matter how sleepy I am, I'm gonna bolt. And so sometimes crises catapult you, wake you up to being in the now. And again, that was interesting. I like this idea of the Zen masters who would go around hitting people with a stick. You know, people don't do that in the West so much now, unless you're on an army field or something, and they're trying to get you over the wall or something, and the sergeant major shouting at you. I suppose it's the same kind of idea, that you disengage from those thoughts and that you have, and you just act. I like this idea that you have non-attachment to the fruit of your activity, and they call this karma yoga. And karma yoga is, I suppose yoga is just a practice, and karma yoga is like getting you back into the present. I like that word, and I found it very similar to Sufism, and this idea that you draw the arrow and you do all the work, but where the arrow lands is not up to you. You kind of have to let that go then. You know, so you do the work, you put in the structures, you do everything, but where it's going to land, you don't know. So it must be tough if you're an Olympic athlete or somebody who is, you know, doing everything, and then they don't get that medal. But then I suppose then it's about accepting that that's happened, that's what it is. And I suppose it's back to the now again and accepting that. There were a few other things that I didn't understand. He talked about people that dissociate from the body, and he was talking about transformation through the body. And that was there's like, he even talked about the Buddha, and the Buddha going on extreme fasts and really doing himself a damage, and then giving it up and coming to a middle way and a balance. So I wasn't quite sure how that, maybe that's again, you don't look after your well-being here in the now. There was another interesting idea that I didn't fully understand. He actually said that there was something about more consciousness means a lessening of the illusion of materiality. And I was thinking, is that true? So in other words, can you actually slow aging by becoming more conscious? I don't know about that one. That one I need to ask maybe other people. Maybe there's something in that. I don't know. And there was this other phrase that your primary task is not to seek salvation through creating a better world, but to awaken out of identification with form. So maybe what it means is that you, I don't know, look beyond what's there, and look at an inner meaning, be less superficial, maybe. Okay. So finally they said that when you surrender to what is, and so become fully present, the past ceases to have any power. You do not need it anymore. Presence is the key. The now is the key. And how will I know when I've surrendered? When I no longer need to ask the question. So, okay, I don't know what you get from that, but I have to admit, look, it's a good book. I would definitely recommend it. Is it transformative? Yeah, it is. If you are somebody that's worrying about stuff in the future, constantly going over stuff in the past, which, let's face it, is kind of the basis of depression. If you can snap out of that and you're just here right now, and I'm doing this in the car park, and just connecting with you guys, then you know that's all we have right now. And maybe the idea is to really savor it and enjoy what you have right now. So that's The Power of Now by Ekhart Tolle. I'm sure there'll be loads of stuff on the internet about it. Yeah, like I said, it's an easy book to read. And it's been a wee while since I've read a book that I wanted to get back to read and enjoy. And this is one of them. So I would definitely recommend this. In terms of, I'm not sure if I would give it, figures out of 10, but I definitely think it's worth reading. Yeah, definitely worth reading. And hope you enjoyed that, and I will speak to you all soon, or at least do another review soon. Take care. Bye.